Why is the devil allowed to put thoughts in our head
And
tempt us?
all right, cool. That's the question. Why is the devil allowed to put thoughts in our head and tempt us? That's the question that we're answering today. So basically, there are many worlds. God didn't just create this world, right?
Right.
So since God didn't just create this world, there is a whole debate going on in the universe as to who is right between Satan and Lucifer. Let me explain. So when sin started in heaven, Lucifer came to God, and his whole thing was that God is not somebody that can be trusted.
Right.
God is somebody that has decided that we need to keep these laws, and all of these laws are super OD, and we don't need to actually keep them because, you know what? We can decide for ourselves what's right and what's wrong. We don't need to have these God's laws as our principles for what we need to do and what we need to say and whatnot. We can make our own decision. And we actually see the same exact temptation from Lucifer, where he asks him, basically he says, why? Okay, he tells Eve, just get both of us. So he tells Eve, right?
Yeah.
Eve is like, yo, why should we eat of the fruit? And the serpent tells Eve, if you eat of the fruit, then you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. That's the same exact thing that he deceived the angels with. He told the angels, yo, y'all can decide for your own, with your own brains, what's good and evil. You don't need God's law to decide what's good and evil. And the whole angels and the heavenly host and everyone decided, because you have to understand, we are one star, right? This sun is one star in one galaxy. Now in our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, there are billions of stars. And in the universe, there are billions of galaxies. And just in our one little star, there are about 8 or 9 planets in our solar system circling this one star. So we're one planet circling one star of a billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy. So imagine how many worlds there are when there are billions of galaxies that each have billions of stars that all have their own solar systems. Like, that's an insane amount of worlds that are in the world. So God created other worlds, right? But the fact is that even though God created other worlds, we're the only ones who sinned. So all the other worlds are actually watching our world like pay-per-view right now. They're like, man, what is up with this sin question? This is the only place that sin is going on. So the reason, to your question, brother, the reason that the devil is allowed to tempt us is because there's a contract going on right now between God and the devil. And Lucifer said that in order for it to be fair, both sides of the story being told, right? Both sides of the story have to be told in order for it to be fair, because if only one side of the story is told, then that is not really fair. So, Lucifer is saying, guys, God is having these draconian laws. If he's the only one allowed to do these laws, then it is really a one-sided argument. And in order for everybody in all the other worlds to see what's really going on, Lucifer says they should be able to hear both sides of the argument. So God allows Satan to whisper his temptations to us in order for it to be fair, for it to be both sides of the argument. Because right now, we're still in a place where everybody hasn't made their decision for God or Lucifer at this point in time. Now, there's gonna come a time in history where everybody has made their decision. for God or for Lucifer. And probation is going to end. And at that point, nobody's going to be able to switch sides anymore. Everybody's either going to have the mark of the beast or the seal of God. And that time is coming soon. But right now, because there are laws and God, the whole universe is watching what's going on here, God is allowing Lucifer to make his play and give his advice and give his temptations, but God puts a limit on Lucifer for what he can do. So he cannot go and actually force you to sin, right? But he can encourage you to sin. He can tempt you to sin, but he cannot force you to sin. If you decide, I am not gonna watch this porn right now, there's no way for him to open your eyes and force you to watch that porn and masturbate. But he can put in your ear, oh, look at that girl. Man, didn't she look good today? Oh, check her out. Oh, man, she looks good in them jeans today. Oh, don't you want to go home and do something about that? And then you now make a decision either to follow God, because also the holy angels are here and reminding you, no, God's law says that you are not supposed to sin. Pornography is of the devil. Jesus said, if you look at a woman with lust in your eyes, then you have committed adultery in your heart. So pornography would be sin. So the angels are also telling you, hey, don't do that. And then the demons are also telling you, yeah, do that. That's okay, fine. Don't worry about that. So that's why the devil is allowed to tempt us and to ask these questions. It's also, he can quote unquote have his side of the argument being told to us while we're still in this open debate. But one day, judgment is going to come and the books will be open, and at that point everybody's either going to be on God's side or on the devil's side. And I hope all of y'all are on God's side, because everybody who receives the mark of the beast is going to hell, and that is not going to be fun. But by the way, hell is not going to be eternal, but it is going to be hot, and you are going to die eventually, but it's not going to be forever and ever and ever and ever. But that's another video for another day.